really ready to be done with it because the badder she gets, the more I have to edit. I love it when I come up with an idea in the very last chapter and I have no idea how it's gonna work, and that's how I've decided to end the book, so that's not scary at all. Good morning, friends. Welcome back to yet another writing vlog. I might actually finish it in this one. I don't know. Already busted past the number of chapters that I had in my outline. If you have not been following along, and this is the first video that you're clicking on, I am writing a dark academic adult fantasy with a little bit of romance in there, a little bit of spice. It's kind of X-Men meets Ninth House. Whenever I do my like query letter vlog, I will probably have slightly better comps. Currently filming, it's like the last week of May. This will probably not come to you for like a couple of weeks. Everything goes according to plan. We're moving mid-June, and so I don't want to try to be moving and also like my head very much still in the book, because I know it will be, because anytime I'm not writing, my head is in the book. I haven't had my coffee yet. I need to go make my coffee, and then I will kind of get you guys up to speed with exactly kind of where I am in the manuscript. Okay friends, we are finally sitting at the desk. Well, I've been sitting at the desk for like the last hour. I just had a text from my loan officer, and anyway, I had disclosures, 45 documents that I had to like e-sign, like read and e-sign. 12:30 already, and I have not begun writing for the day, which is very annoying. Anyway, what you actually want to know about is how the writing is going. And so I just started chapter 37. I think I maybe mentioned that earlier. And I'm about to hit 117,000 words, which is a crazy amount of words. My current word count is 116,982. And I really want to keep this thing at a max of 120. Because if you look online and you look up like the sort of expected word count for fantasy, it's like 120. Now it can go over that if you are like a George R.R. Martin and you're writing, you know, like a 5-book series or whatever. Seeing as how I will be a debut author, I don't want this thing to be any longer than it absolutely has to be. We have just had another death scene. Our main character is like walking out of the forest where the body has been buried, and it's a very bittersweet moment. And spring has just arrived, which is very nice. So the entire book takes place over the course of a school year. I always do a little description for the season. So the beginning of chapter 37 says, "Spring arrived softly and without preamble. Soft animal heads darted out of dens. White hares got their color back, no longer invisible in the snow. Deer shed their antlers and spotted fawns took their first steps on shaky legs, while foxes set the forest ablaze in leaps and streaks of flame. Everything was blooming back to life as the sun rained down through a canopy of nascent leaves like nature's gilded confetti." So that's kind of like we're coming out of the dead of winter, but I think that works, right? Sets the scene. And then we have our main character walking back to the house from the meadow. To look at this, we're on actually the last page, but there was a final little scene, and this always worries me a little bit when you, when I add in random things at the last minute, because I'm like, is there, you know, does this work? Does this vibe? She has a lot on her mind, and that's one of the things I'm doing to hopefully make the ending feel kind of like a beginning. Is she's stepping into a bigger role. She's gonna have more responsibility. There's gonna be so many, I just already know, there's gonna be so many like plot holes for things that I had in the outline, but then I changed in the manuscript, and then, so anyway. So the ending is gonna be a very different vibe than what I had initially planned. And this character's main reason for coming is to inform her that another one of the houses, because there's sort of a whole international, there's multiple houses, there's not just this one that she's at in the UK, there's multiple around the world. Basically another one of these houses is going to request her presence there for this kind of trial. almost like a witch trial kind of thing. I love it when I come up with an idea in the very last chapter, and I have no idea how it's gonna work, and that's how I've decided to end the book, so that's not scary at all. That's enough rambling. I've been rambling for, it says 15 minutes, just sitting here rambling. So let's actually get to it now, shall we? Good morning, friends. It is the next day. I did walk like maybe 2 miles. I try to do, if I'm up for it, I actually try to do a 5K when I'm on there because it's the only way for me to like walk that far without realizing that I'm walking that far. Yesterday, let me go check and see what my word count was. I don't think it was a very productive writing day, just because, like I said, I had all those documents come through, so it kind of ended up being a house things day. I know I'm gonna be disappointed with this number, but I was telling myself this, trying to tell myself this. The whole point is just to show up and sit down and do the best you can. And not every writing session is gonna be like, you know, a 2,000 word writing session or whatever. Okay, so yesterday I ended up at 117,552 words. So not horrible. I think I might actually write outside today because the cat's already waiting. He's been harnessed, as you can tell. We already took a very brief little walk. So let's see, it is 9:06 a.m. So we'll see if we can make today a little bit more productive than yesterday. I wonder how many candles have died for the making of this book. I can go through 2 taper candles in a day if I have like a full writing session. That's the most expensive thing throughout this entire process. Or maybe all of the ink to print the manuscript. I don't think I've showed you guys in this vlog, so I'll just get her out. It's unbound because the brads that I have, it's currently unbound because the brads that I have don't, like, they're not long enough to go through the thickness of it. Okay, no, she works. Maybe I won't break this clip. Am I ever gonna be able to get even one more page in there? Probably not. I am really ready to be done with it because the fatter she gets, the more I have to edit. I mean, secretly very proud though, obviously. Good morning, friends. I'm getting a late start to the day. It is like 11 o'clock already. I just got up at 10:30. We had some storms last night and I was up like watching the radar. The tornado sirens were going off, but then like nobody on the news was saying anything about tornadoes, so it was just thunderstorms and like flood warning. I think I'm gonna finish it today. I was up pretty late last night. I think you saw some clips of me on the couch because I did pull out the iPad. I mean, I'm in the final conversation. As far, unless I decide to add something else, which, you know, sometimes happens. Like this conversation is a last minute add-in. Basically, I didn't want to end it on a too like sweet and fluffy note. Okay, friends, it has been a little bit. My computer has work stuff up on it right now because I have to be a responsible adult. Just gonna be a lot of clicking and reading and spreadsheet data entry type stuff. It's gonna be really boring. So unfortunately, that's what I have to start the day with. But I will update you when that is done. Time for an update. It is like 2:15 in the afternoon. I did like half of the work. We are currently sitting at 119,129. I think I'm gonna write outside for a little bit. We have some sun coming out. Maybe it won't be too muggy. We had storms last night. I think I mentioned that. Shaking a little bit. I think it's just because of my coffee this morning, which normally I don't really like get coffee tremors. So I think it's like coffee mixed with excitement. I finished it. It's done. I had to stop in the middle of filming my reaction because I realized my mic wasn't on, but it's done. And I felt like I've just finished running a marathon, but like an intellectual marathon. The wall, notice there's one little slot left and that's chapter 38. So it ended up being like this perfect little rectangle of cards. Not that that means anything, it's just very satisfying. So let's write it. Let's write chapter 38 summary. I need water. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I'm gonna print this thing off. I don't know exactly where I'm gonna send it yet. My mind is already going. I'm gonna have it like bound with one of those little spiral bind things. I don't have words right now. Wow, just look at it. Look at the beauty. Here she is in all her glory. So my binder clip no longer, well, let's try it. I don't think it's gonna fit anymore. Yeah, it's not gonna work. Okay, I think I have enough camera battery for a quick final little wrap up. So the actual final word count was 119,680 words. and then I actually cut 10,500 words. So I have like a deleted scenes document. I created the document on June 16th, 2024. So the rough timeline, and I'll make a whole video about this because I'm the type of person that would be a really helpful video for me to see someone's timeline. I love when people like break things down. The actual initial like thought, like the first idea of it came to me in January 2024, but it was very different than what it is now. I twiddled around with it and I have a lot of voiceovers that I actually still need to listen to. So for about 6 months, it was in the back of my mind. I was just working on it. June 16th, 2024, I created the actual document, and it is May 24th, 2025. So I finished it in less than a year. My immediate next steps are give myself a little bit of a break. Do something else, maybe get back to reading. I haven't been reading quite as much because my mind's been obviously in the story. I'm gonna send it off and this was the type of binding that I was talking about earlier. That will be the copy that I edit. But I also have all of the, I don't know if you can see them from here, the like pink and green tiny little post-it notes are edits that I wanna make actually before I do that. So I still have edits that I wanna do before I do the first official draft 2 edit. And then eventually I will send it to a developmental editor, a professional developmental editor, maybe do another round of drafting. And then I would maybe like to query with like draft 3 if I feel confident enough with draft 3. So you'll see my whole query letter process. I might give you guys like a template. I'll do a whole video about that because I do want to traditionally publish. I don't know if I mentioned that before. I've mentioned it in other videos. That's the goal for this. That is the destination. So it's gonna be a little bit of a break, and then it will be full steam ahead with the whole publishing thing. So if you're not subscribed, I never tell you guys this. I don't care if you like or subscribe or whatever. I do YouTube for fun. I don't make any money, but if you do want to follow me on that journey, it would be nice if you subscribed, if you've even made it this far. So thank you for watching, and leave me any video ideas in the comments, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.